Welcome, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show on April, what is the day? The 19th, 2021. I know y'all just got through seeing our graphic there. Thank you to producer James and the wizard, Edward, for putting that graphic together. We are mourning the loss of a couple of student athletes out of Elgin today. You just saw there Willie Simmons, who was signed to play at North Texas University, as well as Alyssa Reed, who was a sophomore at Elgin High School. Willie was a senior. They were boyfriend and girlfriend, and they were victims of the shooting yesterday in Austin, Texas, near the Arboretum. So just want to send our condolences to the families and the communities of Elgin today. And it's going to be a tough loss. Known Willie for a good amount of time when we started doing our Friday show at our other station, and then getting to cover him as a junior and senior was just phenomenal. Got to see his recruiting process. I remember the time when North Texas came in, and it was pretty much his biggest offer that had come through. And, you know, he was such a fantastic athlete on the field and will be severely missed by many. Yesterday, the Twitterverse was exploding into the incident that occurred. And so pretty much that's how I found out. Saw through Twitter, saw a lot of, LLWs, Long Live Willie, and LLA, Long Live Alyssa, that were kind of floating around Twitter. And so you got to kind of just see what was transpiring and putting some things together and, you know, trying to get some credible information to verify this was, you know, in fact, what had happened. And, finally, through my channels, working with Flex ATX and Snoop, Snoop was able to put out a story on his platform to kind of give a little bit more of insight of what had happened, what commenced. And so we're grateful for him. And, we had chatted a little bit about Willie and how that, what his impact was for Elgin. And I'm telling you, man, the Elgin communities for their athletes, they're going to be popping coming, next year in 2023 football season. So there's a lot to look forward to, but today we remember Willie Simmons III and Alyssa Reed, after their very short lives and tragic passing. So just want to say prayers up to them, and they'll definitely be in our prayers for sure. Let's move on. It's a big week for sports. UFC's back. UFC 261 in Jacksonville. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Jacksonville, Florida will be titled and capped off by 3 title fights, a title fight between Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal 2. There's also going to be Rose Namajunas facing Wei Li, the Chinese champion. And then we're going to have, is it strawweight?
Yes.
So Valentina Shevchenko will be defending her title against Jessica Andrade. I put a little research into this one. You see how I got all these names good to go.
No need to open up the browser.
Not on this one, Jack. I was able to kind of get things prepared. I did a little homework last night trying to decompress from the sad news that came out during the day, and got to watch a little bit of UFC dropping their first promo for the big title fight. I don't know if I said ESPN or UFC. I intended to say UFC. So it was pretty cool to kind of see. They led with Usman and Masvidal, kind of actually going back to their fight in July, I believe, of 2020 when they were in Dubai, and how, a lot was made of how George had went and, took the fight on 6 days notice and had to, it basically started off was he was in a cookie shop and he got the phone call from the UFC and he was like, do I eat these cookies or do I go fight Usman for a title? And he decided to put the cookies down. And meanwhile, they're telling this story. They're in this very, very nice-looking butcher shop, which it doesn't look like a butcher shop when they're going into it. It's basically a very swanky storefront with some refrigerators, and it has this high-end beef that only, I'm pretty sure, professional athletes can get their hands on. So cool to see that story kind of commence, and then they, of course, go through the 2 female fighters' fights. And it's interesting how that title that Valentina Shevchenko holds, how there was the constant of Jessica Andrade is like Jessica beat Rose to get the title that Wei Li has, and now Andrade is moving to another weight class to go fight Shevchenko. But at the same time, Rose Namajunas, who was the former champion at that weight class is going to come down or go up to fight Wei Lee. So lots of stuff going on. Jessica Andrade was the constant basically between those two belts. So I thought that was pretty weird. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. That's just kind of was on the top of my mind. But let's get into a little football news real quick. Probably not going to have too much going on with high school recruiting just because it's a downtime right now in the Austin area. But I do want to give a shout out today. Alex Smith, the former number 1 overall draft pick, I want to say in 2006 or 7, has retired today. He officially announced his retirement from the NFL. He originally was drafted to the Kansas City. Was it Kansas City?
Based on that quiz on Friday, I'm gonna have to verify.
You might have to back me up. Anyways, I know that he played for Kansas City and he got drafted by San Francisco. Yeah. I'm sorry. He got drafted by San Francisco. Then Kansas City, where he mentored Patrick Mahomes and then finished up his career. And I would go to there you go. That's the right one to click on. And then he finished up his talents in the Washington football team. But yeah, he was coached by Urban Meyer at Utah for those who don't know. So I wouldn't doubt if maybe in the future, if he doesn't get into TV, he may get into that Jaguars camp just solely based on their connection with Urban Meyer. Of course, we all know what Urban's done since his time at Utah, where he was, not only a champion, but, competing for a BCS title back when there was a BCS. The Cincinnati Bengals announced their new uniform drop. Looked pretty plain, not too impressed. And then the biggest news, what we're still going to be pushing every single day, you're going to hear us talking about it, is April 29th. I don't know if we're going to call it P-Rod's draft party or the Paul Rod. I think it's going to go P-Rod's draft party. So we're going to be having a draft party. Producer James is going to be running the boards. We're going to have multiple guests, maybe a special appearance by the Wizard, maybe. We'll see. I don't know what his bedtime is, but we'll have to check in to see if he's got if he doesn't come out, if he doesn't turn into a pumpkin before it gets to dark. So I don't know. There's another buddy of mine. I have that same joke. It's like, yeah, we can't feed him after dark because he'll turn into a gremlin. But I'm looking forward to April 29th. Lots of moves going to be made today. Trey Lance's second NFL Pro Day was held in North Dakota State, where he was throwing for pretty much all the usual suspects. The 49ers were definitely in the building. Lot has been said that potentially you trying to show that off over there? Find a good spot for it?
Yeah, whenever you decide.
Producer James. Yeah, I know what I'm doing over here. Don't you worry about that. I'm driving this bus. I know where we're going. Producer James has a little secret for everybody on our social medias. If you go to our social media right now at the Paul Rodriguez Show on Facebook and Instagram, you can see the surprise that James will be dropping probably when we come back from break. Maybe before break. I'm not sure, but go look at our Instagram and give us a like and a follow. Definitely, if you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button down below and hit the bell so we'll notify you when we go live. But what I was getting into was Trey Lance's potential draft stock rising at the 3rd position, which Vegas is really not giving that too much credibility. What has actually happened for the 3rd overall pick is Justin Fields' odds have increased over Mac Jones. A lot of people, because the 49ers went to Mac Jones' Pro Day before they went to Justin Fields' Pro Day, and they were at his field day last Wednesday, Justin Fields, that is that Justin Fields' stock has risen to be the number 3 overall pick with the odds at -110, which are pretty good. That's almost a sure thing, almost. Trey Lance has climbed a little bit, but I think that for my sake, I believe that these 49ers have solidified their decision in going ahead and picking Justin Fields, which I think that's the best thing to do. Now that's going to bring into 2 other teams that need quarterbacks with 2 other people potentially on the line. Does Atlanta pick a quarterback, or do they get Kyle Pitts at 4? And I think that the smart move as far as the quarterbacks go is for Denver to either go get Mac Jones or Trey Lance, whoever they want. And it's also going to be a race between the New England Patriots. So for those last 2 quarterback spots, who's going to trade up ahead of each other to get that quarterback that they want? Like, if Bill Belichick is gonna run the evil empire, and he's gonna make sure they go and pick the right team. He's gonna want to make sure they get a solid quarterback who's gonna be a hard worker and diligent in the classroom. And for me, that's both. That's Trey Lance and Mac Jones. But who has a better body of work against better competition? Well, that is going to go towards Mac Jones because they have pretty much the similar amount of games they played, and they've both been champions. The only thing is that Mac Jones did it against an all-SEC calendar during a COVID year. And Trey Lance had a game against Central Arkansas, which is a Division II school, I think. No, they're FCS. I'm wrong. So I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to the draft. We're going to get more into the positions as the week goes forward. It's going to be a slow news week for sports. It's going to be slow. We're going to be real dependent on the UFC to kind of get us through this one. We'll talk about that shit show on Thriller later on in the show. But it is 14 minutes after the hour.
I thought it was Triller.
Thriller. That's how much I care. That's how much I give them the credibility for putting on a worked event. And I said worked. At least they fell in line with the history. I mean, the potential corruption. No, don't go to that source yet. Go to your source.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday was we let everybody know on Friday was your birthday, going to be on Sunday.
Yeah.
James turned 32 years old, 32 trips around the sun. And the Paul Rodriguez Show thought it fit to reward him for his birthday and all the great work he does. Without him, this show does not function as well as it functions. So, ladies and gentlemen, producer James would like to show off his new little treasure, which I thought it ironic because of the shirt he wore. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Santa Cruz.
Yeah, so Paul was, kind enough.
This is the Paul Rodriguez Show that gave you this.
Paul Rodriguez Show right here. Aaron Rodgers Funko Pop that I do not own, so I really appreciate this again.
Yeah, man, you're welcome.
It's going to sit right here for the rest of the show.
And that's actually a special edition. That's the Super Bowl champion edition for Aaron Rodgers. And so, Aaron, if you're watching the show, I would like to ask two questions if you're listening. One, did you know you had a Funko Pop? And two, did you know you had a Super Bowl championship edition?
I'm going to add a third.
Pop?
Will you autograph mine?
Well, I mean, at least you chimed in and asked for it. I mean, that's a fair thing to do. Yeah. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers doing big things on Jeopardy. His 2 weeks have concluded, so I don't know what you're going to do when you go home. You guys are going to go back and watch Colossus Arm and Falcon. That's the only thing I can think of. What's that show really called?
Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Did you see that is that trailer for Loki? The Loki trailer that's coming?
I haven't watched it yet. No,
yeah.
But it dropped like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw it when it dropped and I was like, looks. And I like Loki. I like the character. I like Tom Hiddleston. So I thought that was pretty cool. But then I look at his, I'm like, I don't know if I can follow this timeline y'all are going on because it's everywhere.
There's so much.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. All right, let's get into a break. 16 minutes after the hour. When we come back, we're going to probably get a little bit more in depth of the horrible boxing that happened this weekend and UFC. We're back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show coming out of Studio 44. We usually kind of give a recap of our weekend and really didn't get into that, but I had a good time this weekend. Was able to grill out a little bit. I think you did some grilling for your birthday too.
Yes.
Nice, nice. And then Saturday, I just pretty much like hung out, ran a little bit of errands, went up to Austin for a little bit, and then got back and got prepared for the. I know I said I wasn't going to buy the Triller thing, but
Did you buy it?
Yeah, I ended up having to buy it. So kind of put that on the docket too. But I started watching the prelims for the UFC 24, I think it is, or 5, whatever it was, at the Apex, and they were pretty good. Some of the undercards weren't so bad, just because it was like a 9th or 11th hour. Like I was like, it's 10 o'clock. Let me buy this thing real quick, just so I can see what happened. And shit show. That's all it was. It was so horrible. That Triller Fight Club with the Delgadillo girls, with the Delgado girls. What were those girls? Who are they?
D'Amelio.
Now, see, they're just stupid.
They're TikTok royalty.
So they're TikTok famous?
Yes.
Well, you said royalty, so they're somebody important?
They're like top of the line TikTok chicks.
So what do they do? Like dances or?
They dance to famous songs in front of the mobile phones.
A bunch of weirdos. I don't know, man. I just don't understand that lifestyle. I don't know. If it works for you, it works for you, I guess. I guess I'm doing it in a different way, right?
What if fans request Paul Rodriguez Show on TikTok?
I'm sure we'll do TikTok, but I'm not gonna do like no Running Man or.
What will you do?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not doing. What would I do? I'd probably do challenges. I'd probably do.
So no dancing.
I mean, what kind of dancing are we talking about? Doing like merengue? Are we doing low cumbia? What are we doing?
That's why I asked. What would
I
you
ain't
do?
doing no twerking, Jack. I ain't doing nothing like that. I ain't doing no. No, man. What are you gonna do? See?
I'm gonna record. I'm gonna do my job.
You can record and edit. That'll be a sight. We'll be on the driveway doing some weird TikTok dance and it just looks stupid. No, that ain't happening. And then of course, Paul it's Jake Paul, right? Not
Yeah.
Logan Paul. Yeah,
Jake
they're
Paul.
stupid Pauls. I don't know. Apparently he hits Ben Askren, former UFC fighter.
With the 1-2.
Forgot how to put his hands up and knocked him down and had had an 8 count. Askren gets up and y'all saw what happened. He took what looked like a fake stumble forward, and Pops McGee, the referee, decided to like wave it off and call it done, and it looked highly suspect, man. It looked. What did it look like to you?
Yeah, it definitely looked. I mean, like Jake Paul caught Ben Askren. I mean, it's hard to believe that a guy like that comes from an MMA background like that could get caught with such a basic 1-2 like that, and like you said, not keep your hands up. But at the same time, Ben Askren has one of the worst stand-up in the UFC that I've ever seen. So, but I mean, if you put that aside, he stood up. The ref was like, "You ready to go?" "Yeah, you ready to go?" He was standing.
He said, "I'm ready."
Yeah, and then he just like waved it off.
Right.
So I put it like this: I would have hated to see that guy referee Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 1. You know, because he would have never made it.
Fury would have been like, "Yep, you're done."
Yeah.
So the only other thing too is I think what was real suspect is Ben Askren, who was a collegiate Olympic athlete, right? He was an Olympian for wrestling, and he was also in the UFC. Shows up with a dad bod to weigh-ins. Like, it looks like he didn't train, looks like he didn't run. It looked like he just lived his life and then showed up to collect $1 million check. That's what it looked like to me. After looking at everything, seeing how everything unfolded, seeing how the shitty announcers handled the situation, seeing how the previous fight before that one, a glancing blow knocks down a boxer and puts him out on a stretcher and is wheeled out to an ambulance in a gurney. Everything just looked totally suspect. And it was, I mean, maybe it was a work. Maybe they followed in the footsteps of boxing.
That commentary was killing me, dude.
If you listen, doesn't it sound even more fishy when Snoop Dogg says he put $2 million on the fight?
Yeah.
And he was he wasn't even kind of like, he didn't even seem worried at all. It's almost as if maybe it was all in the contract. Everything that happened, maybe it was a maybe, potentially. It seems like it was in the contract for Askren to show up however he wanted to. It seems like it was in the contract that he was supposed to get hit in the first or second round and go down. And it seems like it was in the contract for if Askren stumbles after being knocked down, the referee's going to wave it off. It sure seems that's how it all played out. And of course, Paul just celebrates and pretends like he just won the, UFC, boxing, UFC, WBA, IBF world title. That's what it seemed like, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And then he got handed some plastic toy belt by the D'Angelo girls. What are they called again?
D'Amelio.
The Filio is what it should be. Philo dough. It looked like a half-ass production. Like, yeah, you can have Doja Cat. Yeah, you can have Bieber. Yeah, you can have Snoop and De La Hoya acting like he's on whatever substance potentially.
God, dude.
You could have Mario Lopez's super PC, super square behind try to insinuate there's not smoking going on, but they're definitely smoking. And a couple of drinks and they're just living the good old boy life. It seems like it's like a movie scene from Little Nicky. That's what it seemed like. It was like they were in hell. That was hell. And everything that was going on was just as it should have been, choreographed.
Yeah.
That's what it was like a scene from Little Nicky. That's what it was like. That's what it seemed like to me.
Dude, at one point, they were like, I think Oscar, he was like, oh, give him some chingazos. And they were like,
who said that?
Oscar.
To who?
He was just commentating. Oh. Like, he's like a drunk uncle at home, watching the fight.
De La Hoya, put the drink down, son. Put the drink down.
And then one of them, they were like, what are chingazos?
Who said that?
I don't know. Oh. I don't keep track of these bozos. And
I just want to know.
He was like, oh, that's a Mexican term that we use. It you're gonna punch him really hard, but we were at the house watching, and I was like, dude, tell him the truth. Tell him that means you're gonna knock the fuck out of him. Which I'm surprised they didn't say it. They were saying everything else.
Yeah, it's and then who was the super loudmouth on the end, at the opposite end of Snoop Dogg? There was
probably what's his name, Pete Davidson.
No, I saw Pete Davidson. He was the only one that looked normal.
Surprisingly,
he looks under control. It's like, how did he stay sober at all this? But there was another guy, and it was like a cheap version of Joe Diaz. That's what it was like. Okay. I have to go back and look. Anyways, it's like Snoop has some experience doing fights. Like, he has some experience. He's not super polished or anything, but he's trying to carry the scene, and you got everybody talking over each other, and I'm just like, these jokers are just. This is obviously the first time y'all all met, and you all decided to do this role at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you have 12 announcers? And Mario Lopez is over there trying to be all, squeaky clean. It's like, come on, man. Mario doesn't belong. What it should have been, it should have just been Mario, Lopez, and Snoop. It would have been great.
Yeah.
If they would just let them two go back and forth. Then you got this guy over here talking all crazy. De La Hoya's throwing some chingazos. I'm like, dude, can we cut their mics? Can we do that?
Yeah, he was literally like, kick his ass.
It's like he's in Tijuana or something at a pop-up tent boxing match.
Fucking Mexican standoff.
Dude. I like De La Hoya and everything, but it's like, dude, you're the owner of DAZN. Why are you here? And if they wrote you a check, go sit in the stands and get your check and do your, cameo, and that's it.
Yeah. Also, what I was wondering, I was like, I know Oscar's here, and I was like, why isn't his company or anything? Why is his promotion not nowhere to be found?
Bad business move.
Yeah.
Bad. Where's the branding?
Yep.
Right. Why isn't he wearing a polo, or why doesn't he have some DAZN girls or DAZN dudes or somebody with DAZN with the logo on their clothing with him? That's what should have been happening.
He didn't want no part of it, right?
But how stupid is that? He wants to get back in the ring. He's already mentioned he wants to fight somebody.
I think he knew how shitty of a promotion that it was, or
Well, then
like
why did he
production that
show
it was
up?
going to be. Because he just wanted to hang out and watch the fights and have fun. He didn't want his company to have anything to do with it. He didn't want to have his name on it.
But it's him physically there. His name is on it.
All right, I'm done defending him.
Thank you. He messed up. It's like he was at the party. They started another party, and he found his way to that party because he had been partying.
And I guess he just, at this point, he's like, oh, well, I didn't pay for the party.
I'm not responsible for the party.
Yeah.
All right, guys, 34 minutes after the hour. I guess De La Hoya's back to his partying days. Oh well. maybe he's like having one last hurrah before he starts training.
Maybe.
I hope so. All right, we're back.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show, kind of like rearranging the scene a little bit. Man, too many jokes in the break. James over here, like
I'll do the same.
telling me stories about, his birthday text messages throughout the whole day. But shout out to James and everybody who wished him happy birthday.
All the way to the end.
Hey man, did you get anything else? Did you get a cake? Did you get what else that happened?
My mom used to make a pretty good cheesecake when we were little.
Oh, nice.
So she went and dropped off, which kind of surprised me because I haven't had that cheesecake in years, dude. Like
Really?
I'm talking 10 plus years.
Wow.
So it kind of took me back, and it's also something to cut it up, let my kids,
Right.
enjoy it as well. And they're like, "Oh, this is good," and it's like, "Oh, I used to have this when I was little." But no, my girlfriend got me a nice little smoker, and it's funny because now that's all I want to do is just barbecue shit.
You just want to grill?
Yeah.
Do you barbecue or do you grill?
What's the difference?
So barbecue is like low and slow, and grilling is like hot, fast. Like grilling be like grilling steaks.
Yeah.
Smoking barbecue would be like put the meat on there, let it just smoke for 3 or 4 hours,
Yeah.
and then you pull it off.
Yeah. So naturally, I like smoking because I like to enjoy the whole process and stuff. But yesterday was kind of might have partied a little hard on Saturday,
I bet.
so I kind of woke up a little late. So I was like, I might not have time to smoke.
Wait,
so.
you had a party?
No, I didn't
No
have
invite?
a party.
Man, see, you just like everybody else.
Oh
You
man,
get no invite.
I'm like everyone else.
I'm like McAfee today. Apparently McAfee had all of his buddies got an invite to a party and he didn't. He was super sour about it.
He's the boss, ain't he?
But he was sore, my dude. He was like he was kind of like he stopped his show. Like after they get off the radio part of it, he was on the YouTube part, and he was he even told us, it was like, dude, you're being a bitch right now. Like, why are you acting like this? Because he's like me, like I just stay home, low key, like I really don't go out. I really like to just work, grind, and then I like my own time. And he says he's that way, and so like all of his office, like half the office was out. Because potentially it's like a COVID thing. And now he's doing Friday SmackDown and he can't have any risk. So he told all his guys to stay home, don't come in until you're like cleared with a test. And he was like, they potentially got exposed at that party. And he was sore that he didn't get invited to the party. He probably wouldn't have went. He was like, I probably wouldn't have gone, but I still wanted to be invited.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, dude. It is. Look at your Aaron Rodgers thing. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, I'll take your own advice.
But no, man. What else that's just pretty much what he got into?
Yeah.
It sounds like
Pretty
a fun
much.
time. There's nothing wrong. It's like for me, like as you get older, like you're getting close to that age. 33 is what I told you is you're just going to want to hang out with the family. You're just going to want to cook and have a good meal and just relax. And
Yeah.
more than any gift you can get.
I was cooking before on one of those like square pits from like $40 from Walmart.
I feel you, bro. I got a little $20 Smoky in the back.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with them.
No.
I mean, I didn't toss it. Like I kept it there, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll see you another weekend, Papa. but
You talk to your grills like your kids.
hey man,
Hey,
dude, I'm
son.
surrounded by nothing but kids,
Man, I
man.
guess so, bro.
So yeah, man. Now I'm just like, oh, dude, what's for dinner? I'm like, oh, fuck, let's throw some chicken on there. Or let's fucking, let's do something. But yeah, man, it's cool. I'm growing older, and it's crazy to see because I'm like, man, you're younger and you want toys and shit, and you grow older and you might want consoles or games and stuff. And now I'm like,
You turned 32 and you still like toys, apparently.
looking forward to having something that I can cook some food on to provide
Yeah.
for the family. So it's pretty cool, man.
Fulfilling your fatherly duties.
Yes, sir.
Shout out, man. Appreciate that. 45 minutes after the hour, UFC 261 is coming. I keep checking Twitter to see if there's like any hot NFL news, college football news. Crickets. Just crickets, man. I knew this week was going to be like one of the roughest. This week is like July. Because in July we're like waiting for OTAs, and then now we've had a lot of NFL news come out where players are going to be like not going to voluntary OTAs, and they're kind of getting exemptions due to COVID, trying to mitigate their risk of exposure. And so Now that month is usually when stuff will jump off. Probably now won't really be till August when, everything starts popping again. But this week is going to be like the month of July where the baseball, like college baseball usually runs into June. And then basketball is nowhere to be found. Baseball, basketball, football, July is like the month it all stops. So I'm going to have to figure out, maybe get into billiards, maybe darts.
Shit.
Maybe we'll just start watching darts of those dudes in the Englishmen. They're all at this pub and they're just like, they're so, have you seen them throw darts?
Yeah.
They're like stone cold faced.
Yeah.
I'm like,
dude, and their money, they're worth it every time for bullseye.
It's
money.
they have there's a certain amount you're supposed to score, and you want to hit the triple 20s, the triple 20, and then these dudes are like, all right, he needs 2 bullseyes for the win.
So real quick.
Oh, so you know about this?
Yes, I do.
Nice.
So there was a point where I was hooked on darts, and I haven't played in a really long time. But there's 2 games to darts. There's 501,
okay,
and there's also cricket.
501. That's what I know.
So 501, you start at 501, your score, and every time you hit, it subtracts from your score. But when you're at say you have 10, you want to hit a 10 or you want to hit a double 5 because you have to end it at. You can't go over,
right?
And you can't shoot under, of course. Cricket is you want to hit all of the things, all of the numbers. I think it's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then of course the bullseye. And so 15, you want to hit a triple and then 1, and that's for every number. You got to hit it three times to close it out.
And so what was that game called?
That's called cricket.
Cricket?
Yeah.
I don't know no cricket. I know a crumpet, though. That's what I know. You know what movie that's from?
No.
Ninja Turtles, man.
Oh, okay.
The original Ninja Turtles.
Part 1?
The one within the 80s?
Yeah.
Or not,
I know
early
what
90s.
you're talking about, yeah.
I was going to say you were 1 when it probably came out. Probably. No? You were born in 90?
89.
Oh, see, then you know. You know what I'm talking about. The Batman with Michael Keaton?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
good. All right.
Jack Nicholson.
That's the best Joker ever.
Yeah.
I will argue anybody to death. That is the best Joker in the world by far. I'm actually thinking about getting a print. I found this website, and it's a Joker print, and they have a 34 by 36 by 24 for the new studio. I'm thinking about it. That's the best joke in the world.
I'll get you a Heath Ledger Joker.
I don't want no Knight's Tale Joker coming. I don't want no.
What's wrong with him?
He just ain't Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson. He ain't Jack Nicholson, man. He just ain't Jack Nicholson. Thinking about the golf.
Yeah, I was gonna say we playing golf.
Oh, so you know the shark? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Look at James doing a little golf homework on the side. I see you with that PGA. Do you know who won this past weekend?
We just talked about it.
No, we didn't. The golf tournament.
Oh, we talked about the Masters.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so the PGA was this past?
There was a tournament.
Oh,
I forgot who won too. I think he was Stuart Sink or something like
Look
that.
at you.
I think it was. All I know is all his family was waiting for him to we're gonna win $1.5 million. That's all they could That's what I saw.
Wow.
That's just me though. I'm pretty cynical like that.
All right.
Let's get into a break. We totally just killed that UFC segment right there. 49 minutes after the hour, we'll be back. We'll then probably talk. Maybe. If James doesn't talk about his Funko Pops. What's in your red Solo cup? Mine's water. Producer James, he's got orange juice. I think it's orange juice. I mean, I made it. I think it is.
It is.
Right on, people. Let's get into this UFC 261. We've already pretty much talked about. Look, I see you over there. He just keeps on moving that Funko Pop, putting it just square in the frame. Your brother's gonna make fun of you for that, right?
Welcome.
He said Funko, people, is what he said. He said Funko. Putting on the brand. All right, let's get to it. UFC 261. Wei Lee versus Rose Namajunas. What is your early week outlook for this fight?
First of all, I just want to say, dude, we're full steam ahead to Saturday. I cannot wait. I cannot wait, dude. I think he's so hyped up.
I think he's pumped a little bit.
I am pumped. Super pumped off that orange juice. But yeah, man, Rose Namajunas versus Wei Lee. Dude, I love Rose. Thug Rose, but Wei Lee is, man, she put on such a performance against Joanna.
She's vicious, man.
She is. And so I'm kind of worried for Rose a little bit, you know. We'll see, man. We'll see. They asked Rose, what's your game plan for this fight? She said it's the same as everyone. Go out there, touch gloves, and punch them in the face. Mount their back and choke them.
Just like that.
Yeah, that's what she said. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's the first fight amongst, you know, there's the whole card. I think I'm going to actually tune into the pre and
the 4 o'clock pre show.
I don't know about that early.
The prelim show.
I don't know about that early.
I was like, all right. Well, yeah, we're gonna have him here at the we're gonna have them at my house. We're gonna begin the fights. I don't know if you're welcome to come over. I don't know. You're gonna ask. I know the first question you're gonna ask me is,
gonna be food?
That's right. Is there gonna be food? Probably.
I think I'm gonna bring food.
No,
I wanted to do a brisket because I've never done one.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off air. We'll figure it out. But
okay, cool.
I already got the refreshments. I already picked them up. I've been preparing. So yeah, kind of got all that squared away. I'm looking forward to the fight between Valentina Shevchenko and Jessica Andrade. The reason I'm looking forward to that is because I don't know who else can challenge this woman besides one other woman. And I think they've already fought before. And she's a Brazilian. And I think Shevchenko is going to just demolish Jessica Andrade, to be totally candid with you.
You really did your homework.
Yeah, I really think but see what it is I like Rose Namajunas. Rose Thug Namajunas. Her family were Lithuania refugees who came to the United States, and she settled in Colorado, and she was a former champion, and she's doing her thing. I like Rose. I like that she's like, this is who I am, and I don't care. I'm me in public, and I'm me at the house. I'm the same person. I love that. I love people like that. But for Valentina Shevchenko, for her dominance in her division, the only other woman that could potentially keep up with her, and this is no disrespect to Jessica Andrade. She's a great former champion in her own right. She's just outclassed. She just has better competition in the two divisions that she can make weight in. Because she's a small girl, short girl, but you know she has the Brazilian lower body, where she has thicker hips and thicker lower body, and it's just muscle. You can't take it away. So getting back to the point, the only woman that I think can challenge Valentina Shevchenko is the Lioness, Amanda Nunes, and they've already fought before, and it went to a decision. And it was a surprising decision win that Amanda Nunes beat Valentina Shevchenko. My only question, which I didn't get to that far in my research, was what weight class was that in?
That fight right here.
Oh, so you have that pulled up?
Let's look it up.
Oh, I thought you had it ready. So this fight that they had was in 2019 or 18. It was one of Valentina's like early fights in the UFC.
Let's see here.
And look at her, man. Look at Valentina. She looks like a killer, man.
Yeah, she does. Russian assassin.
And she's like she's a trained like marksman.
2017, actually.
So, okay, so it was a little further back than I thought.
Yeah.
And that went the distance, right?
Bantamweight, so that would be 135.
And who's the current champion at 135?
At bantamweight,
Is that Nunes?
I believe so. Yes. Go ahead
And Valentina is fighting at. Is she fighting at flyweight or strawweight?
strawweight.
Yeah, just type in Valentina. Or yeah, you're looking up Nunes's.
Yeah.
I mean, what weight? How much weight are we talking about? Are we talking like 10 pounds? Are we talking about? I thought you would have been to UFC. So now what we're looking
She's
at
the reigning champion, bantamweight and featherweight. So bantamweight is 126,
135. And then what is the featherweight?
126, 135. Featherweight is
45.
145.
Okay, so then look up Shevchenko and see what her title is. She's probably going to be a 115er.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
So she could go to
Flyweight. Women's flyweight.
So is that 115? You just had it up there.
Oh, sorry.
Click on there and just look at their weight. 115.
Yeah.
So that's what they're going to be fighting at. And my whole thing is like, why don't they just have that would be the only potential fight for them. It would be champ versus champ at 125 for the featherweight. And the other half of the coin is, does Nunes want to go down that far? That's the only thing.
Meeting the. I mean, she's a
but
multi-weight.
if it's going to be for a title, there have to be in that weight class, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, fuck it, for the sake of the fans.
But it's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, that's where I'm looking. I'm
yeah,
applying
true.
logic.
Because I mean, who else is out there?
There's nobody who can compete. Yeah. There's nobody who can compete at 115 against Shevchenko. There's just not. Even if Rose went up in weight, she would. Listen, I believe Shevchenko walks around at 140, and she's cutting 15 pounds to get to 115. Or I'm sorry, she's cutting 20 pounds to get to 115, and she's gonna go in there and just destroy who goes up in weight. And I bet Rose walks around at 100 pounds.
Rose?
Yeah, because she's fighting in 105. Isn't that the weight division?
Yeah, correct. Because flyweight is 115 to 125 pounds. That is Shevchenko's weight division. And then you're talking about strawweight right here.
That's got to be 115.
Let's see here. Yeah, strawweight is right, like you said.
So the only logical thing is to go fight. The crappy thing for Shevchenko is that if she goes to fight at 135, Amanda Nunes is going to be walking into that ring at 155, 160. She'll probably make the 125 cut, but when she rehydrates and gets back to where she wants, she's going to gain 30 pounds in a minute, maybe 25.
Yeah, so the strawweight division is between 106 and 115. It sits between the lighter atomweight division.
And that's where Rose and Weili are going to fight.
Yeah.
And then the weight class above that is strawweight.
Mm-hmm. And that goes 115 to 125.
And that's going to be Shevchenko and Andrade.
Yes, correct.
And then the 25 champ and 35 champ is Amanda Nunes.
Yes.
They just need to fight at 135. Shevchenko and Nunes need to get it on at 135 at 135.
There's so much talent in the women's division. Like I enjoy watching the women go at it.
But it's only because it's the viciousness that they're getting into the ring with. And these aren't like, we're not watching Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey anymore. We're not watching just grapplers.
Well, you said it on UFC this past weekend that girl, she was. I mean, I was like, look at this Chola making her way down to the ring.
You talking about Tracy?
Yeah.
Tracy, what was her name? Maybe I got to put a ring on that one, Jack. I'm just saying. And she was Chola. She was almost like gangster girl. But she handled her things, man. She handled her business.
Yeah, she did.
I did think she was going to lose that fight for a little while because that older fighter, she was like 40 something. But she kept just going. Her will was just taking it to that fight.
You look at like fighters like her and they kind of surprise you, but it's like fighters like Amanda Nunes, Shevchenko, Weili, Rose Namajunas. they don't surprise you. They walk to the ring or the octagon. You're like, this is a killer right here, and they get going right off the bat.
You can see it in their eyes.
Yeah.
Like you can see this. There is a ferociousness. There's a viciousness in their look. They're not coming in here to play patty cakes. They're here to literally punch you in the face, leave you knocked out, and walk home with the check.
Yeah,
that's the way they look.
And with the belt.
Well, yeah, for this weekend, it's for a belt for sure. All right, I think we give the ladies their due attention for the early week. Let's get down to business. Kamaru Usman, the American Nigerian champion, versus Jorge Masvidal, the BMF, the baddest motherfucker belt champion holder. That's what they called it, right?
Yeah, it's a fake belt.
Hey, man, it's a belt that he knocked Diaz's ass out with, didn't he? Didn't he?
Well, he didn't use it to knock him out.
Did he knock him out to win that belt? And that is crickets, ladies and gentlemen. That means it's a yes. I know Nate Diaz is your boy. I get it. I'm becoming a Nick Diaz fan. But at the same time, full training camps. George has been doing his thing on YouTube, going to Australia, doing documentaries, doing his YouTube thing. And Kamaru Usman is talking about people putting respect on his name. I'm like, look, bro, you're the champ. You have all the respect. You do.
So?
I think so.
Well, I feel like at the same time, that's why he's being doubted.
Who's doubting him?
You.
You damn right I'm doubting him. That's because I saw what George did on 6 days' notice in a 20-pound weight cut, flying across the United States, flying across the Atlantic Ocean, flying across the continent of Africa, and landing in Abu Dhabi.
We also got to remember that Kamaru Usman was training for Greg Burns,
and that's right,
who is a grappler,
and Kamaru Usman was training for a fight, and George was not training for a fight. George was on the street about to eat a box of cookies.
Okay,
I'm saying I get it. They both took the fight on 6 days' notice, yes, but one was in the middle of a training camp, and one was eating cookies in South Beach.
Yeah, I just. Personally, and we'll see how this week plays out.
And it went to a what? It went to a what?
Decision.
It went to a 5-round what?
Decision.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'm going to watch the embeds this week.
Yeah, me too.
All of that. And I just think that I really honestly think that Usman is underrated.
Yeah, I do think he is underrated, but in the industry, I believe people have a lot of respect, and he has his respect in that industry. If we ain't talking about Stephen A. Smith over here, we ain't talking about Max Kellerman over here, we ain't talking about these jabrones, Alex Helwani.
Hey, speaking of Max Kellerman, was he commentating? He wasn't commentating Saturday, that Jake Paul, was he?
No. He wouldn't lower himself to that.
Because I heard somebody, and they shouted out like some like kind of like.
He's an HBO guy. He's under contract with ESPN and HBO. He wouldn't be there.
I had heard like his voice, but it was like, some stupid comment, and I was like, was that Max Kellerman? And they were like, somebody that was there at my house, they were like, I think he was. No,
he's under contract with ESPN and HBO. He would he would have only been there if
De La Hoya dragged him there.
maybe. You know what? Maybe De La Hoya dragged Mario there. That's what ended up happening. Because they're boys. Yeah. It's just I don't think Mario gets twisted on camera, but De La Hoya just doesn't give a shit. But getting back to these jabrones, getting back to these jabrones over here, I think Helwani gives him enough respect. He's an ESPN guy, and I think the other outlets give him his just due. He's an undisputed defending champion. True, 100%. But you didn't fight George coming off of a full camp.
Jorge.
I say when I need to say Jorge Masvidal, I can say it. When it's like when you're good at something, right? It's like when Heath Ledger's Joker said, if you're good at something, never do it for free. And this is the same thing. It's like, if I need to say George's name, if I'm going to see George, I'm going to say Jorge. If I'm going to see George, and we're going to talk about it candidly, I'm going to say George.
Quoting your favorite Joker, I see.
My favorite Joker's quote is, whenever he meets Bruce Wayne, whenever Vicky Vale is in the apartment, he's like, he has him at gunpoint, and he always says, have you ever danced with the devil by the pale moonlight? It's like, I say that to all my victims. That's the best quote in the movie.
I agree, dude. I agree.
Yeah, see, man, this ain't no lightweight stuff over
And it's
here.
like slow motion too.
Ain't
You
no-
ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
He doesn't say it in slow motion.
Well, it.
You been watching too many GIFs.
No. Shut up. He hears it in slow motion when it's like playing back in his dreams. Like he
Okay,
hears
you're
it.
talking about the dream state.
Yeah.
That didn't happen either.
What
Oh,
you talking
maybe-
about?
yeah, it did.
I was like,
See,
what?
I got him over here. I wish we had two cameras.
You
so
had
we
me
just-
questioning my entire childhood.
That's right. It would have been your. See, you keep distracting.
My 2-year-old birthday.
Get back on these jabronis over here. These knuckleheads.
Bottom
Look,
line, Kamaru Usman.
George is. Go ahead. George is gonna win this fight.
Okay.
You think, but why? That's the question.
Because Usman is on a whole nother level. Striking, wrestling, all of that. He's on a whole nother level. Just like we talked about Gastelum is good, but he's not as good as Whitaker. Whitaker is good, but he's not as good as Adesanya. And it's hard for our minds to wrap our heads around the levels that is between these guys. I'm telling you.
So then, by your own admission, in that logic you just applied, Nick Diaz.
Here we go.
Nick Diaz is just good.
Dude.
Is he just good or is he great? Because if you're going to use that logic, then Conor McGregor is just good.
He beat Conor McGregor.
That's my point. That's my point. If you're telling me that George, due to the logic you applied with Gastelum on the Whitaker fight, Gastelum just isn't great. Whitaker's great and Adesanya is the champ. Okay, apply it to the 70 division. If George is just good
Can't
and
believe
George
you.
beat Nick and Nick beat Conor, Conor's just good.
Nate.
I meant Nate. I'm sorry. Yes, Nate. Then Conor's just good. Which one is it? It's real simple.
We're breaking down fights by fights. We're not talking about the big
Right.
picture here.
And fight by fight. Did Nick Diaz go to the distance with Masvidal in that BMF title fight? No, he didn't.
Nate did.
Nate. See, I get the Diaz brothers and the Paul brothers. There's too many damn brothers. Anyways, did Nate, from here on out, it's Nate until I identify otherwise. Did Diaz go the distance in the BMF title fight with Masvidal?
They stopped the fight.
Did he get TKO'd?
They stopped the
Did
fight.
he get TKO'd?
They stopped the fight.
It's a yes or no. Did he get TKO'd?
I don't know what they wrote it as, but
They ruled it a TKO in the record books, whether you wanted to admit it or not.
Shouldn't have been.
That doesn't matter. You're
got
not the
cut.
governing body.
Okay.
Are you the governing body?
Here I am.
No, you're not. You're just running the boards on this side. And at the same damn time, I know The Rock could have got it. I know Stockton, motherfucker. I get it. But on that night, your eye was cut and they stopped the fight in New York, which was BS. We know it was bullshit. Okay, we know. The point that I'm trying to make is that in the Usman fight with Jorge Masvidal,
Thank you.
it went to a decision. And Kamaru Usman could not break George in 5-minute rounds. In 25 minutes, he couldn't break him coming off a 20-pound weight drop in 6 days.
Okay.
That tells me the will is in the check mark for George. All this other check marks, yeah, okay, fine. I'm going to give the hands to George. The kicks, maybe the jiu-jitsu, I'll give it to Kamaru Usman. The grappling, Usman for sure, the wrestling. But I'm telling you, man, if Kamaru Usman wants to stand up with George and he doesn't check or he doesn't throw leg kicks, George is going to knock him out. And George is going to be moving laterally to offset the takedowns by Usman. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I appreciate your prediction.
I'm telling you how and why and when. Come on, let's have it. There's no rebuttal.
Wait.
And that was... Tell him, Uncle Joey, tell him. That's right. He's in there just fiercely getting into it.
Gurgling.
His gargly laugh.
It's gonna be good, man. And,
It's gonna be a great card.
You still have time throughout the week to adjust your predictions.
So I need what I need from you. I need you to convince me to change or alter my pick. And I won't interrupt you.
Okay. Coming later this week.
Coming later this week. We only got 3 more days. Well, I guess 4.
All I need is one.
Well, that's what Nate said. That's what Nate said. I just need one. And then he got his eyes split open by George, and then the doctors in New York decided to say what? TKO. Come on, tell me about it.
What did the doctors over there?
Switch yourself over.
What did the doctors over there at the
Barclay Center?
the Jake Paul and actually the doctors didn't even get involved. It was the refs. If you're gonna go based on the bodies that handle the fight, such as the refs, the judges, and the doctors,
Is Triller even sanctioned?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. All I know is they give out Mickey Mouse Gumball Machine title belts. That's all I know by the D'Angelo girls or D'Amelio girls, whatever they're called.
Just asking. You have so much faith in the governing bodies.
Hey, I just deal with who's in power, and then I move on. That's all I deal with it. Who's in power? We'll deal with them as we go. I'm just saying.
Fair enough.
Oh, I hate when people say that. Fair enough. To me, that's a cop out.
That means I give up.
Fair enough. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to talk about this.
Now I know. Fair enough.
Such a cop out. Come on, man.
It
is a cop out. Fair enough. Oh, fair enough that you don't want to talk about this anymore.
What about agree to disagree?
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's a more
That's not a cop-out?
acceptable. No, it is, but I think it's more acceptable.
It
It's
is.
we can agree to disagree. That makes sense. I don't know though. I'm trying to convince you to come on over to the dark side. I need you. I need me, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. We need to walk with the dark Sith, not the dark Sith, Darth Vader. Darth Sith.
Strike me down, Jedi.
God, we got the Palpatine in the house tonight. What else, Palpatine? How's it going? You recovering from your fall?
I don't know who that was.
It's pretty spot on. I did see the. You ever seen Britain's Got Talent on YouTube or anything? No. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
No.
Oh, speaking of muting mics, ladies and gentlemen, did y'all catch what producer James did to me at the end of the last break? I was in the middle of saying goodbye to y'all and totally just cut my mic. It's like
I was right on time, bro.
Turn me up, bro. I just need you to let me talk to the people a little bit.
I was right on time.
That didn't sound like it because I think the second half of my word was still coming out of my mouth. It just didn't get through.
They got the point. We were going to break.
I know, but need to hear my lovely voice. Oh, yeah. So Britain's Got Talent. There was a GIF, I think like in 2017, and it was of like dancing stormtroopers. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
They were like dancing in this back alley. Well, it turns out it was like in London or one of those countries over there. And they went on Britain's Got Talent. Well, anyways, they did like a dance routine, a dance regimen to like all these current songs back then. And they start out with with Darth Vader's like intro. And so that kind of reminded me whenever you played it because I watched it this weekend.
It's called the Imperial March.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
See, I'm not a Disney Plus guy. I know you're Disney. You're a company man. We're gonna get you on ESPN. We're gonna get you on ESPN under that Disney contract.
I'm a George Lucas guy.
Well, he sold out. A lot of people sell out.
Yeah, true.
So good for. I mean, he did sell it for $1 billion. So I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is that called selling out or getting what you're worth?
That is called being a smart businessman. That is what that's called. People say, "Oh, you sold out." Okay. My bank account looks like a phone number. That's what I would say.
You're about James sold out to go produce for Joe Rogan. He sold out.
Yeah, young Jamie got fired, and now it's young James.
Okay, hit me up.
I can see that and be like, God damn it. It's like, yeah, we traded producers for a week. Young Jamie's quitting tomorrow.
Joe Rogan's like, hey man, you had him and you just talked shit about him the whole time.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah.
I need you to like give it back a little bit sometimes. Pulling it out of you slowly.
Okay. Oh, hey.
I'm just saying. Whoa. No. We're trying to get the talent, get the talent exuded.
True.
All right, guys, it's 22 minutes after the hour. It's gonna be a fun week. Had a good show today. I didn't think the show would go this great, but keep this energy, keep these vibes.
You know how we do.
I'm looking forward to the end of the week. I'm really looking forward to that card this weekend, and I'll bring you over, James. I'll bring you over to the Cuban American side. I got to ride with Masvidal, man. My grandfather's from Cuba.
Cool.
Got to ride. Got to ride for the people.
All right.
I'm a little torn though. Like I don't want to go for Weili, but I want to go for Shevchenko. And she's not Russian. She's like Ukrainian, right?
Shevchenko?
Yeah, she's Russian.
I think so.
She's not like Nelly. Like
if you know any different, let us know in the comments.
yeah, let us know. I'm gonna look it up too, but I want to know. Like I'm like Joe right now, not Rogan, the other one. All right, we're out of here. Off the rails.
You want me to give you time?
No, we're gone.